welcome back to another adventure, y'all. I know it's been a little while since I've actually put out any content, any videos or anything, but I'll kind of explain what happened and why later on throughout the video. But just do a little hiking today. Today is, well, this week, spring is fully sprung. Things are blooming everywhere. Pollen is everywhere. My car used to be gray, now it's yellow. But I have a new lens that I bought, and I've never used it. I've never tested it, and it's a lens that I've been wanting to purchase for several years now, and finally just bought it. So I got it with me today, and so it should be interesting. Like I said, spring is here, so I'm gonna go down this trail. We're gonna do some walking and see what kind of things we can find. Hopefully some stuff has bloomed and the forest is full of new life, and we'll do some cool, unique macro photography today. That's the plan anyway. So let's go see what we can find. Okay, so the first composition I've set up is not really what I intended to photograph on this little journey, but I do think it's kind of cool. I'm just right beside a tree. It's got this really unique bark. You can kind of see thick bark. Kind of protrudes out of the tree a little bit. I was originally going to photograph that, but then I saw this moss, and basically you have what I've focused in on is this moss that kind of hangs down from the tree and swoops out like this, like a little tail. So this is really, I guess, the first macro shot I've ever taken. But anyway, I've just kind of played around with it and did some test shots. And man, this 100mm macro really does blur out the background really nicely. As far as settings, I'm on ISO 200 just because I did stop down to f5.6 to take this shot. 5.6 will just give me that little extra depth of field, because when you're shooting macro like this, when you're shooting at 100mm, the depth of field is so shallow. I probably could have went up to f10 or 11 if I wanted to, but I took 5 or 6 shots just focusing on different points of the moss. I had to forget. Sorry for my throat. It's kind of, my voice sounds weird today, but anyway, I've taken a few shots of that, and like I said, I've got it at ISO 200 and f5.6, and that's giving me roughly 1/80th of a second. The sun does keep going back behind the clouds, and it'll come out, so the shutter speed's kind of changing just ever so slightly. But overall 1/80th of a second is what I'm getting. So I took it, like I said, 5 or 6 shots. I'm gonna stack those together in the computer, and if it does turn out to look as cool as I think it will, I'll go ahead and show you guys now. So I was packing my bag up to move on along down the trail and find something else, and I turned around behind me. There's the tree behind me that I photographed just a second ago, and there's this really nice purple flower here, and I'm trying to get down really low. I'll show you. Really low, really close to it, and the flower petals kind of spiral out like that, and what I'm trying to do is focus on the center of it, where it looks like it's got some pollen or something inside of it, some yellow color to it. I'm trying to focus on that, and I can't make my mind up if I want to. Sorry, thought I heard somebody coming. Can't make my mind up if I want to focus on the center and let the rest of the flower kind of fade out of focus, or if I want to focus stack this one because it looks really cool up close, and you have this nice green whatever the flower's growing off of, it's part of the flower, it's the stem of it, but you have all this nice green foliage on the forest floor, which is making a really nice dark green contrast to the purple. So it looks really good. The only problem I'm having with it is there's a slight breeze. It's like a 2 to 5 mile an hour wind today, and it is very difficult to get the parts of the flower in focus that you want when the wind's blowing. Because if it blows, well, every time it moves, your focus is changing from where you want it. So I'm gonna be patient, let the wind die down, and I'll take a few shots of it and we'll see what we get. Jets. I really hope that was cool sounding. I really hope the mic picked that up. All right, I finally got the shot. I'm shooting at f5 on this one, and I had to bump my ISO to 400, which gives me roughly 3/20th of a second. And that's just because of the wind that I'm getting. Had to bump that shutter speed up quite a bit. So just because I want it tack sharp. So we'll see if it is or not. If it come out okay, I'll put it on the screen for y'all now. I hope y'all enjoy it. On to the next one. Oh my gosh, y'all, look what just slithered underneath my feet. Almost messed my pants. Thought it was a snake. Have y'all ever seen a night crawler or worm, whatever you want to call it, this freaking long? Oh my gosh, it's shriveling up now, but look at this thing. That's over a foot long. Look at it. My gosh, that is huge. That thing was just crawling up underneath me. Ugh, look at that. Yeah, at first glance, I 100% come on screen. At first glance, I thought that was a snake. Look at that. I wear a size 12 shoe. Look how long that thing is. Woo! Freaked me out, but it was just a worm. I will say, focusing on macro photography, it is so different from your regular landscape photography, because whereas most times when I'm walking through the woods, I'm looking ahead, I'm looking, kind of eye level, maybe even up, see what the canopy looks like. I'm looking for just your whole thought process, and the way you look at things change, because in macro you're only going to get a fraction of your subject in focus in the frame. So instead of looking for lawn trees or something blooming, or just rolling hills, anything you normally look for in a landscape, it's not the same with macro. I'm basically looking for color, any kind of color, something that catches my eye. There's some holly bushes, holly trees off in the woods here, and I may go take a picture of that next, but I see color, whether it be on the ground or eye level, wherever I can reach, and then I go from there, I go to that, and I'm like, okay, can I make a composition out of this? I don't know. If you've done macro before, you know what I'm talking about. This is my first time to do it, and it is quite different, because you're not going to just set your camera up and get a lot in your frame. You're not going to do that. You've got to focus on the small little details So although I could probably put that lens down in front of anything in these woods and probably make somewhat of a cool little picture out of it, I'm just trying to go for something a little different, not just throw it on the tripod, point it and shoot it. I'm trying to get more kind of like an abstract macro, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, I'm rambling on. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to relay what I'm thinking in my head to you guys. But anyway, my point of that is I can't get a big scene in my frame. I have to see something and then get extremely close to it and try to make a composition out of it, and it's different, I will say that. However, from what I've seen on the back of my camera, of course unedited, but from what I've seen is quite unique. It's a very cool genre of photography, because any normal lens that you get, you're not going to get this close to your subject. I'm amazed by how close I can get with this 100 millimeter f2.8 lens from Canon. Well, the good thing about this macro photography, you don't have to walk very far before you find another composition. That is for sure. Go ahead and show you, just in case you couldn't see it from the ground. This is what I'm taking a picture of. That little guy right there. This one in particular. So, again, I'm going to shoot it at f5, and like I said, I've had about my ISO up to about 800, and that's giving me 1/60th of a second. So not really extremely fast, but it's hard to see, but the wind is blowing this thing just a little bit. So I got to wait for no wind, take the shot, stack it about 3 or 4 times, and then hopefully the result will be something pretty cool. So if it is, I'll pop it on the screen for y'all now. So what I can say is, if you are like me, and this is just the observation that I made while doing this macro photography, if you are like me and you don't live in the prettiest state with beautiful landscapes, mountains, peaks, waterfalls, anything like that, you live in a boring state like I do, and you struggle to find compositions every time you go out, because if you watch my channel, you know I do. But if that sounds like you, get a macro lens. This thing, you don't have to be anywhere that's just, worthy of being in a magazine. You can be in your backyard and come away with awesome shots. Everything I've photographed today, I can find in my backyard. That is no lie. So if you've been on the fence about getting a macro lens, man, do it if you can afford it. You can get a second-hand one, a used one, or an older version of the macro lens that you want. Chances are it'll be almost as good as the newer version, and you'll save money. But just buy it, because man, I was wondering if I was going to regret this or not, but since I've been here the last I've been here 2 hours, I love this kind of photography. It's you don't have to break your back to climb mountains to get pictures. You can look down on the forest floor and find all you want. Now, we don't have cool mushrooms here where I'm from. Well, I probably get a few shots like that of some mushrooms, but we don't have that here. So I'm finding so many other cool compositions And I've passed up probably 10 that I was like, I could probably make a good shot out of this, but I'm like, no, because if I take a shot of everything that I see, I'll be out here until dark, and I don't even have a flashlight to get back. So just a little tidbit. I'm nowhere near a professional photographer, but if you like the ease of just walking around, looking on the ground and taking shots of things really close up, unique things, then get a macro lens. Even if you've never tried it, this was the first time I've ever used a macro lens, and I can assure you there will be many more videos of macro photography to come, because it's just, I'm not going to say it's easy, it's a little challenging, especially if you have wind, depending on what you're photographing. Ooh, let me get up this steep hill. Like I said, it's not that it's really easy, but I will say if you know your way around a camera and you know how to use it in manual mode, it won't be a challenge to you, and you'll come away with some really unique and cool pictures. So, but if you do go out and do macro photography, what I would suggest, unless you just want the exercise, there's a bench. I need to sit down, but I'm not. Don't go on a long trail like I did. You could go down to a lake or a pond, or even go on like a quarter-mile long trail, and that's all you need. Now it is springtime, so a lot of things are blooming. It gives you more compositions to work with, but you could get macro shots in all seasons throughout the year. That is 100% a fact. So that's my advice for this video. One little tidbit: if you don't have awesome landscapes near you, get a macro lens. Even if you think you may not like that type of photography, because I was unsure of it, it's really cool. So, all right, enough of that. I'm gonna get on down this trail, and hopefully I may take one or two more shots, and I'm gonna make my way back out so I can go home and cook some steaks on the grill. All right, y'all, the good Lord has blessed me today. This month I have been doing photography for 7 years, almost to the day. I think it's about a week or so past that exact day mark, but anyway, 7 years of doing photography, and every single spring, don't know what kind of tree this is, but every single spring this tree blooms, and it blooms these beautiful little, I guess they're kind of pinkish red blooms. And the problem with them is they're always 50, 60 feet up in the air. You can't photograph them. Well, I just stumbled upon this tree, and I hate that the tree fell, but one of the limbs, one of the main trunks from the tree has fallen over. We just had a bad storm. What's today, Monday? 2 days ago. Really bad storm. Tornadoes came through Mississippi and destroyed many people's homes. It was a bad deal, but anyway, I'm assuming this is why this tree is down. I'm assuming that is why. So, in all the years of doing this and trying to get a photograph of these buds, but in particular, these buds, let's see if I can, the sun is bright, you see them right there? With better backlit. So these right here, I have tried to photograph these. I mean, when I was in my early days, I would have the longest lens I had was a 200 millimeter, and I'd be zooming way in as far as I could, trying to get a picture of them. It was a horrible composition, but I just wanted to photograph them because they were so pretty to me. This is the first time in 7 years that I'm able to get up close and personal with this particular type of bloom on this tree. So I've got my camera set up as close as I can get it to these things, and I'm going to, they're backlit, so they're beautiful right now. I've got to wait till there's no wind, as always, and I'm going to try my best to get a shot of these and stack up maybe 2 or 3 shots, focus stack them, and see what we get, but I'm pretty sure it may be the best shot of the day. So I'm going to, let's see. So right now I've got it at f5.6 and I bumped it up to ISO 400 to kind of somewhat maybe be able to photograph it while it's moving and it still be somewhat sharp. So, but it's giving me between a 1/200th and a 2/50th of a second. So we'll see how it turns out. But man, I think this is going to be a winner. I think it's going to be my favorite composition of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for the wind to die down. I'm going to take the shot, and if I can get it in focus, I can get it sharp, I'm going to take the shot and I'll put it on the screen for you now. And this is definitely may sound dumb, but this is a bucket list shot for me because, like I said, I've seen these blooms ever since I started photography, and I've never been able to photograph them. So it's a win today. Whew. All right, here's the photo. So I did say at the beginning of the video I would kind of explain why I haven't put a video out, and God, what's it been? December, January, February, almost 4 months. I went to Tennessee and did like a little camping / fall photography trip in November. It was supposed to be a part 1 and 2. I only put out part 1. To be completely honest, I just got burnt out. I was burnt out with photography. Not photography, but I was burnt out with making the videos. I was burnt out with traveling. The whole process of finding locations, photographing what I could find, editing everything, and the whole deal. I was just kind of burnt out with it. And y'all know how it is if you are photographers. Every now and then you just got to take a break from it. And I was burnt out. I was so burnt out that I had all the footage and some pretty good pictures from Tennessee on the second part of that video, but I just couldn't bring myself to make the video. I was that burnt out. So the second half of that trip, well, you'll probably never see it. I even went out, I think I went out in January, early January, and went on this very trail I'm on now. Found some decent little compositions, but I never put that video together either. I had just gotten completely burnt out on photography. So I took a break. I haven't even been out for probably 3 months now to photograph anything. And I think it helped. I think it was needed. So if any of y'all are watching and did want to see the second half of that video, I apologize, but I just got so burnt out that I couldn't do it. I just needed a break. So those of you who understand, well, thank you. Those of you who don't, I'm sorry, but I won't be making the second half of that video. So, but I feel like my internal batteries have been kind of recharged. I've had a nice break, and now I'm back at it again, just in time for spring with a new lens. And for those of you who are wondering, the lens I'm using is a Canon RF 100mm f2.8 L macro lens. So new addition to the kit. Next time, the one thing it does is it makes the weight of my backpack a lot lighter when I only have one lens versus 2 or 3. So that's one part I do like about doing some macro photography. Just take one lens and a camera and go. Thought I heard some deer, but I guess I didn't. So anyway, it's a new year. Got a big hill to climb here, so y'all bear with me. It's a new year, and I'm going to try to do some new things this year. Definitely macro photography will be one of them. So, yeah, I just want to get that out, and I know I don't have a ton of subscribers, but hey, the ones who do watch on a consistent basis, thank you. And I felt like I at least owed it to you to explain why I didn't make the second half of that video back in November. So, all right, y'all. I'm almost back at the trailhead. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this type of content, hey, even though it's something new for me, macro photography, but it's pretty much what I do, landscape photography. So if you do enjoy it, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Whew, y'all take care.